someone like a Shadow Demon.
Yeah, Shadow Demon's pretty good in pushing situations as well. Because NewBee Young, if they're trying to deal with the push, they're going to try and initiate on one hero and blow him up to turn into a quick 5v4, and that's where defensive disruption can be quite nice.
Yep. But they banned the Tidehunter, so NewBee Young think that's a support on the track. But that's only going to happen if... Like, okay, I know the setup isn't as... Like, it's not as much required anymore for the track, because the way the Lightning now changes, with the high level up in Lightning, you can actually set yourself up for a split Earth.
Yeah.
So you've got your control time coming from that. But still, in the early stages, you need some level of help. So it'd be nice to have someone that can control them.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, Ehome have the luxury of waiting and seeing what NewBee Young do. Will it be a core mid laner? Will they pick a mid here? Are they picking their last support? And from there, Ehome can decide how they want to lane things. If it is going to be a laner core, maybe they pick something a bit tanky with a bit more HP to tank up and survive those nukes and push up to the high ground. If not, they may just say, okay, it's a support laner. We can run Leshrac as that frontline core and not have to worry as much about early levels.
Yes, it's a call.
That's so greedy. They've got no laning support. Jungle Enigma and an Earthshaker. Earthshaker does not zone anyone out.
How much do you just want to see like an Alchemist on safe lane now and go, you know what? You want to play the money game? Let's play the money game. They can't even contest the... Actually, to a point they can contest the first rune, but...
I'm Rocket Barrage Fissure, but it's...
It's like, what's your off laner going to do if you pick up and the reason why I'm thinking is because I'm just thinking what's also going to happen with Acid Spray, because you get boots first when you pick up the rune. Like, you can buy everything and then you pick up a bounty rune with Grievel's Greed first, and you've instantly got your boots.
Yes.
And then you go into your lane, you get level 2, Acid Spray comes down, Spirit Breaker is forced out of the lane.
If Alchemist, I think it's one of those heroes that had some very radical changes that made him sound really cool, and it's going to take some time to get there, but I think we are, give it maybe a few months. I don't know if it's going to happen by TI. He's going to become viable.
Just ignore the Aghanims upgrade and then just look at everything else he offers. But it's going to be a Bane, so we are looking at a call Leshrac, but there's a combo here with Leshrac anyway, so it's perfectly alright. But yeah, NewBee Young, how greedy is this from NewBee Young?
Absolutely, and I think Ehome are going to look to go in and punish it. They want to get down those early wards, try block out a lot of the Enigma jungle camps, because at that point, I mean, I guess you can fight a little bit at level 1 with Rocket Barrage, but there's no good ways to switch up things with your lanes when you've got an Enigma Earthshaker on your side to make up for Enigma losing his jungle camps.
And it's... I'm going to keep an open mind. I got to keep them open. That's my key goal right now. Let's just keep an open mind for how this could work out.
I have big doubts about NewBee Young's draft. Game 1, they had a lot of mid-game aggressive potential, Undying, Winter Wyvern heroes that, especially in the Winter Wyvern, you don't typically play against, and that was something which I think caught Ehome a bit by surprise. This time around, they are going to be super comfy against a greedy draft like this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see though, because if NewBee Young don't get off to a good start, we're actually missing players from Ehome without the pause coming in. Like, they actually haven't selected.
They're just like, that is a sign that
we need any advantage we can possibly get.
That was not something you'd normally you see. Like, the second you can load in, you're moving out to plant your warps. The fact that Ehome weren't ready means they're probably in a pretty relaxed mood right now.
I think someone may have the hero he was really searching for.
Yeah. Maybe they know something
weird. Do you think it's a signature? Do you think it's a signature hero?
Okay. Okay. I like it.
Wait, where are they moving?
Well,
sorry, I just saw Wisp as well as Bane just sprint themselves up to here.
I think they
wanted
then
stopped.
Well, I think they wanted to block the Enigma camps, but because they didn't roll out as 5 and they took their time sitting in the well, didn't actually pick their heroes, suddenly it's like, well, we got here too late. NewBee Young are probably there waiting with 5 on the high ground, as they were. This is the move you make when you have Enigma. You camp on this hill where the Lena is and prevent teams from just walking up the ramp.
Yep.
And and Ehome just didn't feel confident. They didn't have... Leshrac went a different direction. The other 4 heroes didn't want to fight, so yeah, we'll give it up.
We'll get ourselves a high-level compendium, the golden bling of the Enigma. And so we'll have ourselves a stylish black hole, which should be nice. Yeah, but top rune's going to belong to Ehome, so bottom rune's going to be the one question mark, as you'll get the stun perfect timing. The fissure will come in, it's on the wrong side. You'll still be able to charge over the top. You do have a Light Strike array as well. It's too shallow though, unable to connect on the retreating Leshrac. So Ehome take both bounty runes here.
Okay.
Small victories, but victories nonetheless.
I mean, the victory for NewBee Young is they did protect their jungle, did prevent any wards from going down, so...
Enigma will have a great time here.
Yes.
The downside is, though, he bought 2 sentry wards from the start. So
yeah, most players will wait a bit.
Yeah, because you don't need to waste it. But he's got 4 clarities, so it doesn't matter as much. And he just got the best creep you could ever get as an Enigma. The Alpha Wolf camp is the quickest one to get through because you can convert the big one.
Yeah. And it's really nice for the experience and farm you can get from it. So he'll farm that. He'll probably move to the big camp, look to get some stacks on. But these lanes is going to be very rough for NewBee Young. You've got a solo gyrocopter. I say solo because Earthshake is just one of these heroes who sits on the side, can't actually zone anyone out, and all he can do is throw a fissure if Piao's getting dived upon.
All right, just stay with us for the moment. I got a DC Reese.
Yeah, I'm as You only got 3 CS to the DK's 5. And DK, once he gets bottle, he's just going to straight up bottle Crow. I don't even know if he's going to go for the 2-minute rune. It looks like he will with the courier heading back to base, though.
It got worse, gods. It got worse. I didn't think it could, but it got worse. I believe in stability. I think belief is rewarded.
Okay.
Belief is rewarded. I don't understand. I really, Volvo, please find a way to fix this. He was on top of it!
Well played, sir.
I was like, this is a very problematic situation. Yep. That nightmare. The positioning was just perfect from SB, you could say.
So, Earthshaker's invis towards mid lane, did not get scared up by the Observer Ward, and I think he's kind of hoping for a courier to come back out with the Bottle Crow. It is pre-3 minutes, so doesn't look like he's going for the... If a kill is possible, he'll go for it, but that's... Right now, DK is 2 full on HP, so... Could find the timing for this bottle. He's searching for the courier on the south side, because a lot of mids will send that courier around below, but...
If Lina was a higher level, then I think they could actually... Okay, yeah, there it is. Because there's not enough damage from just the Lina. So the Fissure block in, and Dragon Knight's caught on the wrong side. The charge will come in. It might block him up the hill. Nope, they're going to be fine. The Slave will hit in, and that is first blood being spilt. At the same time, ROTK was dropping pretty low up against the Gyrocopter, but it is first blood to NewBee Young.
That was nice from Earthshake. Was patient, waited for the bottle courier to come out, realized he couldn't get it, snuck through the trees, and finds himself in a position where he's like, okay, I'm not getting the courier, but we can set up for a kill. DK pushed too far forward, and they had the charge as well.
NewBee Young. It's still crazy to think the position which like we're seeing now, where EP could potentially be put into like a battle up against, well, one of the yet unknown teams. One best of 3 victory, and you go to TI. Like that's what Ehome is fighting for right now. If they can take this game, they're just 1 victory away from TI. Then they get a kill on the SB, so that's 1 upside for them.
Yeah, and Ehome definitely the laning stage is something where they're feeling like they need to get more done. They're fighting against a jungle Enigma who has not been contested, has not had any of his camps blocked out, and they're not really getting enough out of the lanes just yet.
Charge time. ROTK as well as SCCC, they're playing this one up. You got Enigma here as well. ROTK, that charge is going to actually kill him off, even if they can't finish him off with the Malefice, but switches the charge to the DK. And, well, okay, DK turns around, the charge will complete, almost knocking CTY up on top of the hill, but they found another one. It was the Wisp who was coming down. So NewBee Y, they get 2 very quick kills.
And Enigma wastes no time, gets right back into the jungle, about to hit level 6, and this is looking really promising from NewBee Young once again.
That was possibly one of the best movements out of the jungle that Enigma could have done.
Yeah.
Committed 1 Midnight Pulse, committed 1 Maleficent at level 1. Both are at level 1.
And then
a couple of attacks and leached so much experience that he's already level 6.
Yeah.
With this movement to top, he doesn't have mana for a Malefice, and in fact the Observer Ward's going to scout him out.
Black Hole,
but the Fissure, yeah, he should just go straight for it too. Just lock in ROTK with a Black Hole and right in the edge. Let the Galaxy bring him in. But there's no damage though. They got to turn around. And in fact, ROTK is actually going to find himself a kill here. The charge is on the way. The Rocket Barrage too, but the Creep Wave still there to tank it up. They want more damage here. 1 more Quill Spray will do it. And it's a double kill for ROTK. Where are you, Spirit Breaker? You're in mid and you've stopped charging.
Oh.
All things were going so well.
That was the IO just showing up at the right time, and something NewBee Young could have seen coming. They know they just killed the IO, the respawn. Like IO's heading directly back top to support the Bristleback on respawn, and Unfortunately, I just TP's in, comes in right when he's needed to save ROTK.
And now you've also moved the Lina up. Like, the rotations have destroyed you. Like, the Spirit Breaker's in mid, but you've got a Dragon Knight who's in Dragon form, ticking down the tower with that corrosive breath of his. Not to mention attacking into the Spirit Breaker as well.
Very costly stuff for NewBee Young, who lose a lot of their early game advantage, and they're looking for more at this top lane. Bristleback is...
Wow, they got him.
That's nice fissure.
Light Strike Array is going to be off target, but they've still got the Laguna from the Lina, so they'll ensure the kill on ROTK. He knew what was coming, but he felt he could deal with it. This Observer War's been watching everything on the top.
Well, the support movement, and I mean, the support play from NewBee Young has definitely been like some of their most impressive stuff here, especially Emra playing the Mur playing the Earthshaker at the moment, who was the Winter Wyvern from last game.
All about positioning, all about timing, both heroes. Oh, almost every support. Well, it looks like Ehome are now going to move to a different lane there. Yep. They're going to push up bottom lane now. They don't have Dragon form, and they also don't have a single point up in Edict, which now they can get. So they've already got themselves a 2-0-4-1 build.
And they already pushed the T1 mid-tower, so the DK ulti alone is enough. Having the max Lightning Storm is nice just for the wave clear as well as the harass on the heroes, whereas Edict, you're not really doing any damage to heroes. You're pushing just by zoning heroes away with Lightning Storm, and they kind of need to wait for the DK ultimate, which is coming up in 5, and DK going to vacate the bottom lane, though. Yeah,
I think they realize they're being charged. There was a DK illusion in the tree line, which I don't know if they actually scouted at anything. Leshrac being pumped back. Light Strike Array, Wiz going to stick around here. DDC, he's still got the Nightmare as well as Brains up available, so he's getting Nightmare over on the Spirit Breaker, and then they turn on the Pulse. The Lightning just to slow down the SP into the Spirits, plus the stun. They'll find themselves the kill, and a bit of a bumble here because SEC does not have enough mana for the Laguna. That would have been a kill on the Leshrac at the point.
And that was DK maybe making a bit of a mistake there, TPing back mid, because he TP'd mid, cleared out one lane, and then is just walking his way back bottom. If he'd stayed bottom, that would have been an even more disastrous fight for NewBee Young. As it was, Lina not having mana for the Laguna Blade onto the Leshrac meant Leshrac wasn't going down. Even with it, I don't know if it would have been enough against the overcharge coming out from Io. It would have been close. Probably would have killed off Leshrac, but now towers are going to start crumbling. DK with ulti form just goes from one tower to the next.
Yeah, and he has to go to the next. Like, committing the ultimate form for just a tier 1 tower, which is already down at like 30% of its life, was like questionable. But now the fact they can actually push in onto the tier 2 tower, they try and force the fortification out here from NewBee Young. Because then there's very little defense that's left for them.
I'm going to stick around a little longer, and there we go. Fortification comes out, so that's now on cooldown for some time. And with a draft against a Dragonite, your fortification cooldown matters a lot.
Oh, yeah. This SB's charging in. He's going to come in from the tree line. Lanham should be trying to push himself to the right side of the trees, so Baker see it coming and then Nightmare him up. There's your first fissure, and charge in. With Laguna, they get rid of the IO. This protects their tier 2 tower, but they also brought in Gyro.
Yeah, that's okay. If Ehome commit to a fight there, NewBee Young, that's why they want the Gyro there. And for Ehome, they cut their losses. Just losing the IO, you've got Farm going towards Bristleback at top lane, who has a completed Vanguard now, and they'll just look to reset. They'll rinse, repeat once they have the next DK ultimate. They also don't want CTY to get too underleveled, underfarmed. He only just now hits level 8. Because he's been with his team so much, he hasn't had that solo XP as much as he'd like to.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the strength you're going to pick out of your 3 cores, you're fine with one of them just being a little bit further behind. I know you're still concerned about what this Enigma is doing to you, but overall, even when you're going up against a full jungle hero like an Enigma, you're 2,000 gold in front at the moment. Your experience, you're a little bit behind, obviously, because the gold is offset by the tower kills. Are they having a bit of a charge away? Roshan's not going to give him a stun.
And it looks like they're not going to wait too much longer to start chipping away at this tier 2 once again. One of the nice things about pushing this is you're not going to reset the glyph. If you go for the top tier 1, suddenly you're resetting the glyph, and pushing this tier 2 is problematic. But no DK. This is just the Leshrac and the Bane.
I want to ask you a question after the smoke gank up on top. Lanham, are you going to wait? I actually find him in the trees. He's going to relocate, so he's not going to save from this way. And then, well, Black Hole commits. They go on to 2 of them. And ROTK, well, the Cool Spray was doing a lot of damage to Gyro, but they're still going to find 2. But what's your thoughts about like a Leshrac going for this heavy build up in Split Earth as well as Lightning, over getting even just 1 value point up in Edict?
I think it's okay. I like this build. It's the build I think most Leshrac players are doing, and I think it's just much more stable and consistent. You go for Edict, it's not really guaranteed damage. Most teams will time their fortification around your Edict usage, and just having the damage and the teamfight potential from the Leshrac is more than enough, and the DK can deal with the towers as needed. Because once you've cleared out creep waves and you have a great initiating stun in the Dragon Knight, you have a tanky frontliner like the Bristleback, heroes can't really come near the tower. So I think there's value in both builds, but for the most part, it's much more kind of stable, consistent to just build with the normal max stun plus lightning storm.
Okay.
And from here, they're just going to keep 5-manning. They're going to rotate top. DK's goes ultimate. Probably not just looking for the one tier 1 tower, although if NewBee Young overcommit a lot of heroes, they'll say, okay, we'll take the tier 1, back off. For now, Ehome are also looking to build towards the late game. They start stacking up Ancients. They want to make sure that NewBee Young aren't getting too much split push going on. Bane's even hanging around the mid lane to prevent that.
I think he's also hoping to find his level 6. If he can stay close enough to the creep wave to find the experience, but he stay close enough that they got vision on him. That's the Bristleback who's TPing in. Fisher will catch up both heroes.
So they defend the tier 1 while taking a tier 1, or at least that's the way it looks currently with this top tier 1 getting
it's going to tick
very
out.
low.
It'll tick out no matter what happens here.
Dire's top tower
Because there was no fortification available for him.
That's the kind of trades Ehome are going to look to keep on taking. Taking towers while NewBee Young say, well, we can't really fight them too well, especially with Black Hole on cooldown. Let's go for some split push, but then you don't even get a tower off. They got maybe half damage on this mid-tier 1.
It just turns into a farm time until you're ready to attack. This Lina getting a little bit late on it, but also surprisingly too. So you finish the full Yule Scepter. You're feeling great. You got 5 kills in a row. Everything's fantastic. And then you build a 12-minute phase boot.
Oh, and Lina just now getting... That's a bit odd.
Yeah.
I would even expect treads over this just because I like the toggling you can do with this, especially with the change to the Yules where it costs 175 mana. I feel like Lina almost needs the extra boost in mana from treads.
Especially after what happened on bottom lane when she was short the mana for Laguna, because that was a guaranteed kill if she had the mana for it.
And you want to be using your spells to maybe farm creep waves, farm the jungle. You're farming and pushing lanes a lot more efficiently if you can use your nukes. And that's where I feel phase boots, if you get it first done before the Yules, maybe you can justify it, but not a big fan of getting it after the Yules. I guess you're going to maybe rush a point booster now, start working on your mana problems, but...
Unless you're trying to outrun something, and maybe that's...
Bristleback,
like how much of the lightning slow does it repair from Leshrac? It's
a 75. It doesn't repair anything.
Yeah, you're actually
75%. It means if you're at what minimum movement speed is 100, so if you get up to 450, but it means you go from 100 movement speed to like 115. You're still slow as shit. You're not moving.
Absolutely terrific. So I'm just trying to theory craft for reasons why. Because
you can move around the map quickly. Like right now, Lena's spamming phase around.
But you've also got Yule Scepter. Like Yule Scepter gives enough movement speed that you can move between the lanes quick enough. Like having a wonderful haste rune style of movement's great, but
it's very much like one of those weird personal preference things for the most part. But I think definitely this is a game where the treads would help more than the phase boots.
And RTK is getting so much money. He's almost finished the full Crimson. Actually, no. He's actually building his mech.
For the mech, yeah.
Yeah, I just realized he's got the headdress already on him. I saw the buckler and I saw the Vanguard from before. I'm like, it's going to be Crimson, but...
This is Death Ball Dota. They're going to have mech, they're going to have the Vanguard. Bristleback will have mech Vanguard, DK will have BKB, and Leshrac will have probably Bloodstone, and then they're going to go high ground. Like, they'll be ready to take any towers, any fight NewBee Young can throw at them. NewBee Young will not have items suitable for team fighting.
Well, they're all ready to fight now. They're smoked up and waiting to have it. The Black Hole's back off cooldown.
The mech's being flown out on the career, so I don't see why not.
I'll give her a shot, so tier 1 tower.
And CTY staying mid lane is kind of pretending they're not defending.
And here they come. TPs are on the way. RTK now for your call down. At least that's what I'm hearing at the moment. Or was it? They never actually use it. Your Black Hole grabs RTK. There's no way to save him from this. The call down did finally arrive, but you got the Fiend's Grip over on the Spirit Breaker. So no badges, no controls, even though that's what they started with. You've lost the Bristle and then a track at the back lines. But CTY, he's your bigger one. Finding the extra kill. 4 players down. The TP out from Enigma. They still have a Dragon Tail stun, which means Enigma won't go anywhere. It's a 2 for 5 trade-off in favor of Ehome, and they'll move towards the tier 2 top. And that's BKB for DK.
That fight went a lot better for NewBee Young than I expected, but it's still a team wipe. Ehome just have a huge item advantage. Vanguard mech on a Bristleback. The only reason it went as well as it did was because the Midnight Pulse just being able to tear through the HP of some of these tankier heroes on the Ehome side, and it was an amazing fissure as well. That fissure completely split up Ehome as they tried to run in with Bristleback on the front lines, but even so, you've got an IO Bristleback, you've got a DK who's just tanky, only now picks up his BKB, but he had 1500 HP at the start of that fight, and you've got heroes that just aren't equipped to teamfight. Earthshaker throws a fissure and he's pretty much done. Spirit Breaker charges on through, went for the IO, couldn't even kill off the IO because of the amount of control that came his way. So very difficult for NewBee Young to take a fight. And I think they were just hoping to split push a tower. They saw DK mid. They're expecting maybe to get it without a fight, but Ehome were not going to allow that.
On the bright side for NewBee Young, they can at least be a little bit more, they can predict Ehome's moves a little bit better. Because you're not looking like a Shadow Blade DK who's always going to be hunting inside the jungle for you. The Wisp relocates one thing, but you don't have this invis set up for the jumps. So all you got to do is look for wards, which unfortunately Enigma had no idea about. So Leshrakt's done from Nightmare into it. The cooldown's on the way here, but it's not going to achieve anything. But that aggressive Observer ward from the Radiant side did its work already, and it's only been down for like 30 seconds.
They're going to at least get a tier 2 tower. Looks like they're not going to go for the high ground after that pickoff because they TP Bane preemptively bottom.
Yeah. I don't know if he's trying to get in range for a Fiend script, but DDC's dead.
That works.
Fisher. Oh, wait, what?
Does it.
Hang on, what?
Brain Sap relocate in.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. Supports arrive. They control the Earthshaker, so they can isolate out the Spirit Breaker and then move over to the ES. The Spirits are out, and then Leshrakt. He's still got Pulse Nova if required. In fact, that's exactly what he's turned on. The Wisp will leave him behind, so they can finish their job. And actually, he's tooking around the trees. He did the tree line, the TP out, but no, he reads it Leshrakt perfectly. Is able to find the double kill down there. And Gyrocopter, that's the mid play you're talking about. CTY with the BKB protection. They'll bring down the Gyrocopter.
Gyro kind of suiciding in for a tower. That was just fights in 3 places at once. Ehome were like pushing the tier 2 top, taking a fight bottom. DK TP'd mid to fight Lina and Gyrocopter and comes out on top with a kill. Just good use of resources from Ehome.
They're baiting with ROTK. This ward, now they've only just worked out where it is, putting down the sentry. But they can't stick around here. ROTK was just posturing on the top lane, just the rotation of CTY and LAN them together. But they just cannot fight up against, or they should not fight up against.
And I didn't see it, but I know what you're face palming at, because that was, what, the poison damage? Okay.
It was.
Okay.
It was.
You know, some games things don't go your way.
I think that's happening right now with NewBee. NewBee just like, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, let's just try and think of a plan. And by doing so, they miss a basic thing like that, like corrosive skin taking away, like corrosive breaths, hitting into the tower. And it's a very, very simple deny when that kind of stuff's happening.
And they had such a strong, solid showing in Game 1. This time around, they went for a much greedier draft, and Ehome, for the most part, doing a good job to punish it. And yeah, NewBee Young needed to just kind of remain composed at this point and see what the next move is going to be. Enigma picked up Arcane Boots, suggesting there may be some Greaves coming out. I'm a bit surprised by the Arcane. I feel like this is a game where you need your BKB Blink Dagger up as soon as possible, even against the Fiend script which goes through it.
Especially the Blink. Just right now, the Blink. Because if you're able to catch out, I'm not going to say you're going to get all 3 of them, but Leshrakt, Bane, as well as DK, if there is ever a situation where you could jump as the Enigma and take those 3 heroes, you've got to take it. 100% you have to take this.
And it's kind of Enigma accepting the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be able to do as much with my Black Hole this game, let's get some more teamfight-centric items, but I think you really just got to hope for big Black Holes to turn things around.
CTY, RTK are the ones looking to pump in that damage into the tier 2 tower for the moment, while the rest of NewBee sit behind the towers waiting for their chance to shine. Well, this is exactly the time when Ehome want to find more kills. A fresh Bloodstone on the Leshrakt.
Man, Spirit Breaker's by the secret shop, ready for a charge in, but it's so difficult. You need someone close to the tree line so the DK doesn't stun you in time. At the same time, there's not really any good, easy, squishy target.
Walking around the Midnight Pulse, try and get him behind, and they relocate him back into where the Spirit Breaker is. The charge on down, Leshrakt's already on the sideline. Then he a Black Hole, a big catch, but it's not enough. DDC came in with the Fiend script, canceling the Black Hole. So CTY and ROTK are set free, and DDC wants more. He just ran point blank range into the Lina. They set up with a Nightmare, and then just a easy follow-up Dragon Tail stun. They'll take the tier 2 tower, but it looked like ROTK was pulling an ROTK, but it was a trap.
That Lina ulti doing a lot of damage, but ultimately wasn't quite good enough. And it was a very fast respawn from Leshrakt with the Bloodstone, but he accidentally cancelled his TP, or they may have considered going high ground after that. But for now, it seems Ehome just happy to sit back, farm the next couple of items. CTY has 2.9k gold, so the Shadow Blade you mentioned earlier could start to make an appearance for him. If not that, you look towards maybe a pushing item in the Assault Crest. But I feel like the pick-off potential of the Shadow Blade can lead to pushes more so than an AC does. Oh, it's a Blink. That's I guess the poor man Shadow Blade, not that CTY is poor by any means. He's top in the net worth chart right now.
They just want any form of initiation they could have right now. And something like a Shadow Blade is just too risky.
Yeah, you get countered. With a blink, if you see a hero like an Enigma, you just blink stun him and burst him down nice and quick.
Yeah, it gives you a way to get over the top of something like a black hole, where previously, if you had a Shadow Blade, you had to walk around it. And that was kind of like the weird thing of RTK. He saw the Midnight Pulse. It was like, I can get around the edge of this and get close towards NewBee and become a bit of a buffer. And then they fissured him and they threw a lot more stuns at him. If it wasn't for the Wisp relocate, he would have died before that fight even began. But this is now going to be a very quick Roshan in for Ehome. And all the physical damage in the world, plus the negative armor. The cooldown's on the way in, and the second rocket's also going to hit, but it's killed by the Radiant, as well as Leshrac will take the Aegis Immortal. Line up on top. RTK, they have Laguna available, and RTK, he turns it back at the last moment. The Midnight Pulse is still down, but with mech charges, there's no one, but they relocate in. That Dragon Tail stun, what did he just hit then?
I don't know.
I
heard it.
I don't think that was a hero. But also back down the river, they found the Bane. So the Earthshaker and the Lina combine up together there to find a pick off. But it's a Bane for a Spirit Breaker.
And get the tower to 9, but Ehome secure Roshan elsewhere on the map, and that's going to be Aegis in the hands of Leshrac, who is going to start becoming a powerful pushing force soon.
We'll see the TP out from the Gyro, just a second too late there from the DK.
Another tower deny.
Now they're going to wait for the time with the catapult. I get it.
Tower has been denied.
Still 2 towers going the way of NewBee Young. Yeah, it's money they'd love to have their hands on, but it's still some map control loss on the side of Ehome. It's still going to give NewBee Young a bit of breathing room. Just now that there's no T1 towers up on the map, like further down the road, it's going to help them out as far as when you kill a hero, if they're buying back, trying to get rejoin a team fight, it's a lot harder to do so.
Free gold.
Yeah,
free gold.
Or
almost free gold. Should be free gold.
Back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's got enough time. In fact, RTK wants to try and turn on this one. He's still got the Mega Bell, but it has to trigger it almost instantly, but RTK gets punished with the cooldown arriving. The stun will be there on the Enigma, so he cannot arrive, and then the Pulse Nova. You just turn. They want more damage with the Lightning. There's no more Lightning, but the Pulse Nova still doing its work. They can find 2 Bane, Io, and SB. The one is to find the kills, but then Aegis Immortal from the Leshrac. Back to World of Living. Totem stopped by the Earthshaker. The control is there, and they find the kill. The CTY will arrive while SCC pulled up by the Fiend Strip of DDC. Controlling him up nicely, and CTY blinks forward. He wants the easier kill. That's going to be the Earthshaker. The Nightmare controls Spirit Breaker in the meantime, and he's the last man left alive here for NewBee. The CTY needs 1 more second for his stun. He's got Blink in a moment. Can he get the stun off? Yeah, he can't. The charge will go all the way up to the top lane, and then he TP out. He sees... No, he doesn't. He actually TP'd out in the middle of the trees.
Okay. Still about an even team fight in the end there. 4 for 3, but Aegis also lost on the side of Ehome, and I think for NewBee Young, you're still okay with that fight. The big breadwinner was CTY and the Dragon Knight, who's not as scary or worrisome as I think the Leshrac at this point. That's the hero you're happy to have killed. Killing off YJ twice in that fight, he's the kind of late game problem. DK, I mean, just building more like the tanky frontline initiator. So if he comes out on top of a fight, it's not as big a deal as someone like the Leshrac or even the Bristleback, I feel, in some ways. NewBee Young, though, still have their work cut out for them. Gyrocopter is just not farming well at all. It's only really the Lina who's kind of on par with the Ehome cores right now. Yeah,
but Lina can't be your only source of damage. I guess it's okay once she gets the Aghanim Scepter, because then it all becomes pure. But at the same time, like, I'm concerned that the Gyrocopter, like, it's always the massive concern with the Gyro, isn't it? You get BKB, it's like fantastic, but what am I really doing in the fight beyond cooldown? Rocket Barrage becomes really ineffective up against heroes like DK as well as Bristle, even up against someone like Bane who could just brain step so much life back, and he's also got the Glimmer Cape. So you're actually completely useless. Like, you are useless as this Gyrocopter with the BKB up. So he needs to find damage output. He needs at least the Demon Edge, but in a perfect world, he'll have a Monkey King bar in the next 5 minutes.
And DDC's just been doing a really good job of getting full duration Fiend scripts off in fights. He cancelled the Black Hole that last fight near the mid-tier 2 tower. He has been a huge pest in every single engagement we've seen over the last 10-15 minutes.
They're going to try and go for bottom. SB's charging onto the track. Now, he can potentially... Oh, wow.
My.
That is problematic. Mama. The SB's going to charge in. His Shadow Blade is actually about to wear off, so the charge finished, but you've already lost the Lina. And they caught a glimpse of the Shadow Blade of the SB.
Relocate.
Yeah.
Wrong direction.
he's charging up and away past the Observer Ward and into that range creep.
That's on Lina, missing that combo. No blame the Spirit Breaker for that one.
That's what we could say on this wonderful Australian cast. It was a wide ball.
Yes. All right, well, we'll see. NewBee Young just need to calm down a bit. They actually went back for the Blink Dagger and Enigma, so just casual Arcanes for now. Still just an odd use of 1,000 gold, which at this point is a lot of your net worth if you're Enigma. But they've at least stalled things out right now. I definitely looked at these drafts and I could see Ehome taking this game in very quick 20-25 minutes fashion, but NewBee Young have at least held on to some extent. They've got a big deficit, but they're still in this one.
It's going to be even more difficult now. A Blink Dagger onto the Bane.
Well, you can blink on your Shaker. That kind of that to me is your big playmaking item. But
yeah, agreed. But it's one of these items which, like, you can punish Ehome. Where I'm looking at Ehome's lineup is not really a punish, it's a pick lineup. So you get really good vision across the map, which right now it's sporadic, to say the best. Like, they got one watching over Roshan, one watching towards the mid entrance to the base. The dire wards I like a lot better because they can see where the team fights are coming from, and the wards are set up nicely so then they can counter-initiate into Ehome, where Ehome just want to see the earlier picks, and then they just grab them with the Fiend script. They isolate these heroes, and perfect from Lina. This time the combo can't miss. Also, it helps when Lanham is not even moving, and DK's trapped.
Yeah.
No black hole. Don't need the black hole for this one. Just, okay, you can use your Echo Slam. I'm okay with that.
Yes.
But you need to hold on to one of these big abilities.
Yes. The black hole especially. And this is where the Shadow Blades are amazing pickups on the side of NewBee Young, because a team with IO is often splitting the map.
They got problems.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they don't.
Yule Scepter.
Yeah, the BKB is going to wear up, but no one else is close enough to it. And the Wisp is still dead, so there's no relocate in.
Yeah, so the Shadow Blades are so nice because Ehome, even if they get a gem, their heroes are often split up like as a 2- and 3-man unit with the IO ready to relocate in, and that's where you can Shadow Blade past, find the IO who's seen behind the carry hero, and it's the Bane who's more likely to have sentries and a gem. Right now he's just got a sentry or two, and they're not really prepared for the 2 Shadow Blades on the NewBee Young side. It looks like Ehome just getting a bit lackadaisical in general.
NewBee should get the hell out of here right now. You're going to see the denial on the tower attempt at least, but actually, no, the DK, he's not... He's still down for a while, so okay, they're fine.
Yeah, it looked like NewBee Young maybe would have going to go for that fight, but Gyrocopter already back. We're going to farm the mid lane, and hey, they get a tower, they get a kill or two. They'll be just happy with what they took.
Ehome's original movement was actually looking like they wanted to counter-initiate. Like, you're bringing 2 players in from the east. I thought for a moment they might try and loop around through the north, but it doesn't happen. CTY is on his way to that assault Cuirass. In fact, he's 200 gold away from having the AC.
Oh, and now Lina picks up Ag Scepter, another core item for NewBee Young, and that's approaching level 16 as well, just about 500, 600 experience away. So from there, Lina can dish out a lot of quick damage in these fights.
Do we look at a dead Bane? Like,
with the Laguna?
With a level 3, it's still only 950 of pure damage. Yeah. But if you can hit the initial Light Strike Array, yes. Then with Laguna and Slave, you will have a dead DDC.
Or I think Io is the other really good target, as we saw kind of at the top lane.
True.
I don't think there's always going to be there's like an ideal target to find, which is maybe the Io, or if you can catch the DK before he BKBs, you want to try to blow him up. But I think in general, it's whoever's there, and you can turn the fight into a quick 5v4, you go for. There's no like, we've got to catch out and kill this hero or we lose the fight. For SCCC, it's just make sure you take out one with your Ag Scepter. Whatever happens, you can't use Laguna and have that hero get saved by Wisp.
The jump in, but the blink out very, very quick. And they're going to be actually punishing the DK with the Laguna Blade. The cooldown, it may be enough. They jump in for the black hole. Is able to catch out one, or bashing one out of it, in fact. But RDK isolated to the right. Landon wants to relocate him away to safety. He'll be able to do so, taking him all the way back to base. DDC going with him. But this Wisp must return back to the scene of the crime. And it's not going to be a pretty day for him. So he comes back, and Lanham is dead.
So they went on the DK, Laguna Blade and everything. Definitely the right choice from SCC, but DK almost survived. If Wisp tethered the DK instead of the Bristleback in the front lines, it could have been a different fight with him surviving. I think Io made a small little mistake there, which could have changed the outcome of that fight, and that's the big thing I was trying to talk about with the Laguna Blade. Whatever you do, whoever it gets used on has to die. They cannot be saved or kept alive by the Io overcharge, or the fight is lost from there. But
well, they actually just wanted the Lina to start with. That all started because DK failed the initiation.
Yeah.
He blinked in for a kill, and all of a sudden it was that double tap blink just straight back to the baseline.
And when DK gets forced to pop the BKB post Laguna Blade, he's already on like a couple hundred HP. He's not able to fight with that BKB, so it's a purely defensive one. And without the heals, he had to back off completely. So NewBee Young, they're bouncing back and slowly draw closer and closer to Ehome, who not really showing their best Dota in this best of 2, it feels like. This is not looking like a team who's in good shape to take the China qualifier, despite being one of, or possibly the main favorite in this qualifier.
Ehome still have one major thing which NewBee do not, and that's the ability to go high ground. Like, NewBee's damage against buildings is still quite terrible. You get the physical damage once you get some fiery souls up from the Lina, so that's okay there. But you're not really finding anywhere near the magic you get from like a Dragon Knight and a Bristleback. But you can if you can kill them off. Lanham down to 40 HP, charging in this Earthshaker. Is there enough damage? The SB will kill him off. The Earthshaker almost dead, but he actually nether strikes him back, giving MR the space to get away to safety. The Lina still does end up dying. So it's a Wisp for a Lina. And that's a full minute on the sidelines, which means while Roshan's not up, it's a very long spawn time for him. So there's no window of opportunity here.
I don't know if they want to linger around. They are approaching that max respawn time, so they may stay around and just fish for a hopeful respawn. But with the DK ulti wearing off and NewBee Young getting ready to fight once again, the Enigma Black Hole's coming out fairly soon. It's one of those things, yeah, it's 45 seconds away, but unless you're writing down timers like you do Roshan, if you're on Ehome side, you're like, how much time has passed? Has 3 minutes passed? Has it been 2.5 minutes? You're maybe thinking Black Hole's already ready and back up right now. And I like that move from the Spirit Breaker. He charges a creep at bottom lane, scouts at Roshan while invis Shadow Blade, and make sure nothing fishy is going on.
I love these boots for an Enigma. As an Enigma enthusiast, like seeing something like Guardian Screeds being created, you don't require any mana. And then he even got buffed up with the amount of mana required for the Black Hole. So this is even easier for him. He's got all the mana in the world to do everything he wants to do.
Yeah. Would love to see him still pick up a BKB, even with the Fiend script there to cancel and go through it. If you can have someone like Spirit Breaker go on the Bane, like a general fight goes like, we've seen the Laguna Blade target the Wisp a few times. You take the Wisp out of the fight, you have Spirit Breaker, go in the Bane. It's not even about killing the Bane, it's just about hitting with charge, hitting with Nether Strike so that Enigma can get off a good duration Black Hole. Because with a BKB Black Hole, it's only really the Bane who can deal with that.
Well, this might be another way to deal with it. Find him out before he finds you.
Yep.
The charge comes in, but then blinky blink. They run themselves away. And then even a quicker movement with the Fissure block. They use the 4-star from MR, but then the Nightmare to connect ROTK right in front. But do you want to battle right in front of the tier 3 tower? The Nightmare switched over the SB, then up to the leader on the high ground, but you've just lost your damage and control. The Spirit Breaker will drop. Your Black Hole has come off cooldown, but the Blink Dagger was set on the cooldown. So you've just lost your Spirit Breaker. You have a creep wave behind you, but they're going to go for Roshan instead.
That was a cute move from Spirit Breaker. He attacked and removed the Nightmare while Shadow Blading. I don't think they'd scouted out the Bane Gem. I think that was a very recent pickup. So he's thinking, okay, I'll take off the Nightmare, save the Enigma, and they won't be able to kill me because I'm invis. But not quite as fortunate with the gem being picked up.
Well, we've got a big BKB now up for the track. So their fights have become even more powerful. BKB, and now Aegis the Immortal drops the magic wand, so he's no longer a Wizardary. And they can try and... Well, do you actually go for a high ground now? That's probably a big question. Do you try and push and take out the tier 3 tower?
I think you need to wait for the DK ulti to come back up. You've got the BKB AC.
That's only a minute, so by the time the bottom wave pushes up, then you're okay.
Yeah. I think you've got most of your items outside of Bristleback's BKB, it seems. That's the one main item they may look to wait on. But outside of that, it's not like... I mean, their late game is solid, but there's still that just scary team fight of Enigma, a farmed-up Gyrocopter, Earthshaker in a team fight, and now, an item you talked about when you saw this draft, Silver Edge.
And how great is it to have it on a range hero like Alina? Yeah. So you don't have to get close personal with the Bristleback, you could just do it from range. Get rid of either the Dragon's Blood or the Bristleback. And then Bristleback really becomes a fragile style hero, but at the same time, maybe it's not so great now on ROTK because you've still got SMY, you've still got the Vanguard and the mech, and then you've got the BKB on top of all of that. So he's still a very, very difficult hero to kill, even when he doesn't have his back turned.
Just seems maybe Lina, like, if you use the Laguna Blade elsewhere on someone like an Io, if you're fighting the DK head-on, you can take out the Dragon Blood and just try right-click the DK down. You take away a lot of his armor, and Lina with the Silver Edge starts hitting it fairly hard, especially with all the attack speed boost from Fury Soul. So Could see this being a potential way for Leon to actually fight head-on with the Dragon Knight.
But even with the DK armor, all you're taking him down to now is like you're taking him down to 25 armor in total, as opposed to the 37 armor he currently has.
It's still thinking a bit maybe ambitiously if you're thinking, okay, I can now fight the Dragon.
Silver Edge, most powerful ability in the world, because I make it so you're not as tanky. Yeah. It's still a very difficult hero to kill, and with the BKBs, and both of them are done. Both BKBs are done. Life is going to be very, very difficult. And then DDC can just say, well, fine, you want to attack him? I'm going to Glimmer them. We'll just Glimmer Cape them.
I still like the pickup. It's just like a cheap 2k gold upgrade that gives you HP, maim. There's just... It costs Lena nothing. You had the Shadow Blade anyways as an item. The only other thing is you send that 2k gold towards like a big luxury item like a Hex or a Fresher, which you can get later on anyways. If the game keeps dragging out, it's not like this is early game where Lena just spent a big chunk of her net worth.
Hearing a couple of pings coming out. They're actually charging top lane. Looking for DK. Now, there is waiting in the wings, Lena. For a big solo up against CTY.
Through as well.
You can see him blink over. Then the charge in into the Nether Strike. Lion Strike array, Laguna Blade, and a relocate out.
Whoa! No.
Keeps him alive. He's alive. He's alive for now.
That Lena right click followed post relocate and almost got the kill, but
Earthshaker's also very lucky to escape the gank coming out from Ehome. Throughout the fissure, pulling through the trees, got himself stuck, and then four-staffed over the hillside and far, far away.
So nobody dies.
Yes, all that build up for absolutely
much less to the Lena, but
well, we've got another charge coming in. RTK is the main target, and again, Lena will arrive just prior to the engagement. But the SP needs to connect and then Nether Strike him back to buy the time for that head to come in. And RTK, BKB will pop up. He needs protection, he needs help, and he's got it from the Wisp, but Lanham, he actually relocated in, so he has to wait until he can relocate him out. But actually, he doesn't even want to do that, because RTK is still more than tanky enough.
Yeah.
Wait, actually no, he relocated him to exactly where he was.
He was trying to relocate Bristle back out, but Bristle BKB'd, so he couldn't actually tether him. But BKB saved his life, so it's okay. All's well that ends well.
It's all good.
Gyro with the bottom. I feel like we haven't seen Gyro. Piao's just being off bombing. His team's Lena and Spirit Breaker just creating space for Gyro. So we are approaching that scary late game Gyro.
I'm still worried too that this butterfly isn't enough to make Gyro really sustainable. I know like the magical build for a Gyro is having the butterfly, the mana style, the BKB, and the satanic. Then you can survive and you can build up a rapier because you know you're always going to live. But you still need to have your damage to make this work. And so far he doesn't really have that up against Ehome. None of the level is required. Like, against more fragile heroes, then, yeah, this build could work. But you don't have the damage output required to get through someone like a DK and a Bristleback.
All right. It seems like the way this game's going, he may get the space and time to farm those next couple of items, though. You've got Lena and Spirit Breaker just doing their thing, and Ehome really struggling to find a way to find game-winning pickoffs that can lead to them pushing high ground. They don't want to just straight up 5-man against an Enigma Black Hole, I don't feel, but here's a pickoff.
That's a big one too. They saw him out a little bit too far. The force-staff of BKB is going to be used, but at the same time, that's bigger. The fissure actually slows them down, so they cannot chase any further. Now, DDC can blink up a Nightmare and catch out the Earthshaker, but he decides not to.
I don't think... Yeah, your Gyro doesn't have BKB, but you're pushing into that Enigma Black Hole, and this is scary stuff.
It is. They have to try and man mode and tank out of it all. Even the Strike is sitting a little bit further back behind the lines. As the charge comes out from the Spirit Breaker, the Nightmare perfect, so you can't Nether Strike it. You still get the Suns connecting on CTY, but Lanham is healing him up, and RTK is just going ham, walking him there. There's your Black Hole. 3 heroes caught by DDC, not one of them cancels the Black Hole. They turn around with the Breathe Fire, and it's a Pulse of Nova right up NewBee's parts, and that's going to be 4 heroes going down. The Spirit Breaker remains alive, and we will not fill in that Hangman. The tier 3 tower is going to be nailed, and this will be mid-ranks.
Oh, it's like, insert noun here. You left the blank and Toby, I wasn't filling it in, so whoa!
You don't fill that gap. So that's going to be mid-ranks going down.
That's going to be more than that, it looks like. No Laguna for a little bit, and no backup. They used Black Hole, they used Echo Slam. Not a fight they're going to find an easy way to take.
No one's even low enough for Laguna kill. There's just too much life on Ehome, and that's really what I think most of this game came down to. The fact that NewBee had potential for kills, the Lina was a big one for it, but none of it was effective enough. Especially at this point of the game now, where you got so much life, even with your silver edges, you can focus on the break, but they're just so big. You just got yourself a bloody Octarine core over on a track.
Good luck killing him now.
Yeah, well, Wisp has a heart.
Okay. Now he's just showing off. Again, though, the Lina, you've got to... Whoever gets Laguna has to die, because otherwise, after that, if that hero survives... You can't Laguna
anyone. Yeah. Like, who are you going to Laguna? You can't Laguna or a Wisp.
The Bane, maybe? The Bane is the squishy one.
The Bane's the only choice, but he's got 2.8k gold right now. Yeah. It is highly possible he can just pick himself up, even as a casual VIP booster or more. Like...
The nice thing about Lagooning and killing the Bane is that it opens up the Enigma to Black Hole. Because, yeah, there's maybe a DK stun, but DK is the one in the front lines who's always getting caught out in the Black Hole. So, much higher chance of getting off. A net worth difference, but suddenly things just fell apart and crumbled with a couple of really bad fights in a row. And that one, that play there was just kind of like a desperation, like we just really screwed ourselves over, lost 2 lanes of racks, and hey, it's got a buddy to help him out.
Yes, yes, Greenpeace, not his friend though.
So this is looking like the end for NewBee Young. No Lina buyback, and to the high ground we go with Glyph still on cooldown.
And what a big game for Ehome as well. Like, after that first series, after the first game in the series, you're wondering, is Ehome actually going to be put at risk of getting into the winner's bracket final? The team which was picked to take #1 in this group. And, well... They've definitely had to go the hard way. They've taken out the melee, they're looking for the range, the Echo Slam jump in, then your Black Hole! 4 heroes on the edge of it, this time he picks up DDC. They got a chance, but do they? There's so much life to fight, the pulse is there! And well, there's no more pulse, NewBee are dead. The Enigma would be caught out as well, and that is GG. Ehome will take the victory, and they will get themselves a winner's bracket position in the Chinese qualifier, 1 best-of-3 away from a trip to Seattle for TI5, and then as 1 best-of-3, 1 best-of-5 victory away from taking the main event slot, which is what everyone is obviously searching for.
Gives you that little bit of extra breathing room when you start in the winner bracket, because otherwise you don't really know what's going to happen in the playoff.
Then you prepare for the main event, and you don't prepare, hopefully I get through the wild card, or I hope like someone comes down with like gastro and can't make it to the event.
So for Ehome, they clinched the #1